Look at this young mother speaking at a small, peaceful protest against the pandemic lockdown in Northern England.
Children deprived of an education and to socialise with their peers. I could go on and on and on. For a virus with a 99% recovery rate.
And now look at her being thrown into the back of a police van. What on earth is happening to the United Kingdom? We'll tell you the awful story, and then we'll tell you how you can help her fight back. That young lady is Amy Stewart. She's 30 years old, a single mom with 2 kids. And this summer, after the lockdown, she started giving little speeches around Yorkshire. This one was a few weeks back in the city of Sheffield. She told me it's the first time she's ever done anything political. But then one day, something disturbing started to happen to her. A policeman started sending her text messages to her personal cell phone, just aggressively creeping her. Text message, a phone call, text message again. Amy never replied. Why should she? Well, the cops started getting a bit aggressive. Here's one message he sent. This is on Amy's cell phone. Hi, Amy. Hope you are well. My name is Mark Rothery. I am a police liaison officer for West Yorkshire Police, and I work with organizations to help have their say. Oh, really? Is that what police do? I don't think police are actually needed by British citizens who want to have a say. That's more the sort of thing you'd expect to hear from police in Iran or China. Then that cop mentions an upcoming peaceful protest, and he says, I can help with this. You might be the wrong person, but hoping you can help me out to make sure everything is safe in these silly times. Many thanks, Mark. Just a friendly friend, this cop. You can even call him Mark. In these silly times, he's just looking to help Amy have her say, but safely. So he's texting her on her private cell phone like he's some ex-boyfriend who wants a second chance and just won't take no for an answer. Say, if an ex-boyfriend keeps sending you creepy, unsolicited messages, you can call the police. Who can you call when it's the police sending you creepy, unsolicited messages? Here's how Amy described it.
I was really surprised that the police contacted me via Messenger, because that to me says they've been snooping on my social media, which is a bit intrusive, a bit creepy, a bit weird, because you know, professionals don't tend to send you messengers on Messenger. And then for him to be constantly ringing my own personal number, I found very intrusive and a little bit intimidating. Yeah, definitely. Because as I say, I'm not an organiser, so why would they be so persistent in trying to contact me?
Anyways, the police kept at it. Here's another text message. Amy, I am one of the police liaison officers, Blue Vests, and I would just like to have a chat about the possible gathering you were having in Leeds on Sunday, please. I just want to get a COVID risk assessment off you so that you are all good for Sunday and there will be no issues on the day. We don't want to be prosecuting anyone on the day when we can sort all this beforehand. Please give me a call back. I understand you won't want to speak to me, but if we can just have a quick chat, that would be great. Thanks. Can you imagine getting a threat like that from some stranger you've never met? You've never given your phone number to them? You're a single mom and some creep is threatening to prosecute you, which is itself sneaky because, of course, it's the Crown prosecutor who decides who to prosecute, not Mark, the COVID cop, but prosecute Amy for what? For making a 5-minute peaceful speech about how hard life is during the lockdown? That's not illegal in the UK yet. Well, Amy didn't call creepy Mark back, and she went to Leeds and she did what she does. She gave a short, peaceful speech. And then 6 policemen swarmed her, pushed her back up against a wall, handcuffed her, frog-marched her to a police van, and slammed her into the back of it. I swear to God, take a look for yourself. Here's another angle of the swarming part. Credit to local citizens Andy Tyson and Gas for this footage. Thanks, mates.
We do not consent! 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 We do not consent!
It's sort of hard to see her from that angle because she's about a foot shorter than the police and she weighs about 100 pounds less than they do. But just to be safe, they've got a half dozen cops on her. I love the chant from the other citizens, "We do not consent." It's true. The British police are murdering their reputation by allowing themselves to become politicized and to be turned against the people. They used to be the most respected police in the world. Anyways, Amy, and I don't know how she does it, she stayed perfectly calm the whole time. She just stands there and holds her hands up. That lasts for a minute, so I'll show it in fast forward. And then they arrest her. Why? And incredibly, they handcuff her. Why? I mean, besides the obvious, to intimidate her, to humiliate her, they were probably stunned that a young mom didn't immediately cave in when the cops started harassing her at home. And then they were probably stunned even more when they surrounded that same mom, pushed her back up against the wall, and she didn't break down in tears. That's surely what they were hoping for, to break her. They did not. So they handcuffed her. Again, why? Was she a risk of violence to herself or others? Was she going to run away? There was no reason to handcuff her, to manhandle her, other than to spite her, to break her will, and to make an example of her. What a disgrace. Watch them do it. Watch them bully her.
You did. What? Sorry? Scumbags. Why?
I'm your side, but no.
Wow, the police are losing the trust of the people. The people were calling them bullies, pushing back. I'm proud of that other woman there for tamping it down. She was trying to clean up the mess that the police had made when they bravely handcuffed a mum who weighs, what, maybe 100 pounds, maybe 7 stone? Here's some more.
Defend my common rights as a living man.
Leave it alone. You're antagonising this. You're antagonising this. You walk away.
Go away.
You're antagonising it.
Swear to God, mate.
You fuck
Carry
off.
on.
Fucking scumbag.
I am sick of you abusing your powers. I'm sick of you abusing your powers, mate. Well, look what they're doing.
That guy is sick of the police abusing their powers. Oh, he didn't know the half of it. At one point, a cop just starts randomly pepper spraying people in the face. Just randomly. And here's where Amy gets shoved in the back of the police van. Just awful. I spoke with Amy, and she told me what went on after the police van shut the door. Take a listen.
Throughout the 2 hours that we were there, we were allowed to speak, so we were allowed to protest. It was only then at the end of the protest in the last half hour that the Blue Vest officer informed us that if we didn't comply to the group of 6, then they would be coming down and arresting and fining speakers. I did inform the crowd of what was going to happen, and they did start getting into the groups of 6. So it come to 2 o'clock and the event was ending, and we went to walk into town to do some leafleting. As soon as we walked out of Millennium Square, between 6 and 8 police officers ran to me and to another speaker and they cornered me against a wall. The police rushed in pretty fast. You know, there were no warning that they were coming, so it was quite intimidating. I couldn't move. They were very close to me. It was very uncomfortable. At this point, the officer was trying to ask me my name, ask me my address, and read me my rights. But at this point, I stayed silent because, to my knowledge, I hadn't broken any laws. There was no crime committed. There was no victim. So I stayed silent. We were there for around 3 to 5 minutes with the police officer trying to speak to me. It was quite rowdy because, as you can imagine, the people that were there were angry at their... Well, it's unlawful, isn't it, what they're doing? It's not good. So then, because I wasn't complying and I wasn't speaking, they then arrested me and took me to the van. They were quite heavy-handed with the handcuffs, to the point of twisting my arm up, walking on the way to the van. And when I got in the van, the sergeant actually said to me, do you realise the biggest conspiracy theorist in Ukraine has died of COVID-19, you stupid, swear word, you stupid bitch. That's what he said to me in the back of the van. But again, I remained silent.
How do you feel about watching this shocking arrest? They were obviously targeting her, creeping her on the phone, swarming her, handcuffing her. For what? You know, I think they were messing with the wrong Yorkshire mother.
No, this will not silence me at all. No way. No, it's not in me. It's not within my being to be silenced. No, not at all. I can't tell you why. I don't know why. It's just in me. It just pushes you even more, because again, it's social injustice. Why should I be silenced through bullying? And it is, that's what it is, it's bullying. I was basically kidnapped off at the street. You know, why should we stay silent about that? You know, we tell people to speak out and tell your stories and share. So yeah, I'll be doing that, because it's yeah, I won't stand for it. We won't stand for it, the people won't stand for it.
Well, I didn't know about any of this story until Amy reached out to us at Rebel News through our website, fightthefines.co.uk. We agreed to tell her story and to help her fight back with a lawyer. We've been doing this throughout the lockdown in other countries, here in Canada and down in Australia. We've provided lawyers in those countries to more than a dozen people who have received outrageous fines and other mistreatment. And now we've got a great law firm in Manchester that's agreed to help with lawyers on standby in London too. We're going to fight for Amy. There's no way she could afford a fine of up to £10,000. But there's also no way she can afford a lawyer to fight it. Well, that's why we're going to crowdfund it.
With being a single mum of two young boys and not working at the moment, to be given a fine of up to £10,000 would just, it wouldn't be doable. It wouldn't be doable at all. So to have the support from Rebel News is just, it's immense, and I'm very overwhelmed and eternally grateful, definitely.
You're welcome, Amy. Amy is on bail conditions now. She has literally been banned from the entire city centre of Leeds.
At the moment, I'm on bail until the 8th of November. My bail conditions are not to go in Leeds city centre, which is anything within the Ring Road, which I think is a bit strange. Why I can't enter a whole city. I wasn't given a reason why. I was on bail for further inquiries, further investigations, so I'm not quite sure on what's going to happen at bail. So they're either going to, they'll re-bail me for more further inquiries, or they'll charge me either with a fine or for court.
Amy has to attend the police station this weekend to find out if they're going to charge her. Given how brutal they were at the peaceful demo, I'm guessing they are going to charge her. So we connected Amy to our Fight the Fines lawyer, Daniel Burke. He's going to take the case. I spoke with Daniel about it. Here's some of that conversation. Daniel, first of all, thank you for taking this case. I know that Amy's in good hands. When I saw the video of her being arrested, she's physically a small woman, maybe 100 pounds. She's surrounded by 5 burly cops who wrench her arms behind her back, handcuff her, and take her off in a wagon. That felt heavy-handed to me. This whole thing feels heavy-handed. What did it look like to you, a UK lawyer?
Well, hi, Ezra. I mean, the video is not pleasant watching. As you say, she's a diminutive woman, and the arrest did appear to be heavy-handed. Obviously, we need to look at whether there was even a necessity for arrest, but she has been arrested, and that's the facts as they stand, and has been bailed to the 8th of November. The police hopefully will have made a decision about what they propose to do by that date. but they may not have done. We're finding at the moment in the UK that the police and CPS are moving rather slowly in terms of making decisions on cases, because so much effort has been moved to policing COVID and associated issues that arise from that, and budgets are very strained, so things are taking quite a long time. Unfortunately, she may find herself in a position where a decision hasn't been made. She could then be released from bail, but that could mean that she is waiting for some considerable time to find out what's going to happen to her, if anything.
I have a suspicion that there's a political motive here, and we can't know what's in the mind of the police, but it certainly seems like a heavy-handed approach to a young mom who's just expressing peacefully her opposition to the political choices of the government.
Well, look, it's I've spoken to Amy as well. She's a lovely lady. She's very down to earth, finds herself in a very difficult position. As a lawyer, mine's not to reason why. My role is to look at the law, look at the facts, and to form a view as to whether or not there is a case against her. As you said before, the arrest seemed heavy-handed. Certainly there's evidence that she actually encouraged people attending the event to socially distance. And the rules have been astonishingly unclear in the UK. They're changing regularly, and I challenge anybody to say that they have a very strong and confident understanding of what COVID rules are. It's become even more difficult because some of the language that's being used by the drafts persons who are coming up with these laws, it is not always rooted in language for which we have legal definitions. So words such as mingling or celebration or ceremony, we're finding that we need to go to the Oxford English Dictionary for those definitions. So it's very, very unclear. And there are, of course, some people who have deliberately defied rules, thrown a party with thousands of people there. A very large party with dozens or hundreds of people there. But in many cases, rules are inadvertently breached by people who just haven't followed them because they've not been very clearly set out.
Well, listen, I'm so glad you're on the file. Will you promise me, the relationship between Amy and you is solicitor and client. That's your duty of care is to her, to fight for her. But Rebel News viewers in the United Kingdom and around the world, we want to know that you're going to do everything you can to fight for her rights and defend her, because I think you could make all the difference. I think the police were counting on her being a single mom who can't afford either to pay the fine or to hire a lawyer, and thus she would just stay at home forever, I suppose. Will you pledge to do everything you can to stand up for Amy's rights? And I want to get more cases of more Brits who have been unfairly and unreasonably fined and ticketed, arrested. Can you be her champion?
Well, Ezra, there's many things that we can't promise. We can't promise successful outcomes on cases, for example. What I can promise is we do our best, and as you said, my duty in this case is not to agree or disagree with COVID rules or with the actions of Amy. My role is to act in her best interests and do my very best for her, and I sincerely hope that comes along with a very positive result for her.
Well, Daniel, I know you from previous civil liberties work and public interest work, and I know that she's in good hands. Thank you for taking this case, and we look forward to you representing her and giving her the legal assistance she otherwise couldn't afford. Good luck, my friend.
Thank you, Ezra.
All right, thank you. That's Daniel Burke from 3D Solicitors in Manchester. I feel really good about Daniel taking this case, and I just love Amy's attitude. I genuinely don't know where she gets all of her courage from.
I'm just a normal mum. you know, like anybody else would be, you know, just a normal person within society, only that we've just got a strong sense of social justice. I'm fed up, I've had enough of the control, of the oppression, of the tyranny, you know, not just for me, because, you know, I hadn't suffered as much as other people within this lockdown, but there's people in this lockdown that have suffered immensely, having to die on their own, losing their businesses, suicides going through the roof, children pushed into abuse, you know, not only that, but as human rights being taken away from us left, right and centre.
That's amazing, Amy. We've got your back. We'll fight this all the way. But my friends, we need your help. I don't know how hard the police intend to prosecute Amy. They certainly seem to be trying to make an example out of her. But Amy's got a fighting spirit, and Daniel Burke is an excellent lawyer who's taking this case very seriously, as you can tell. All we need is you. We need your help. Please help us crowdfund the legal expenses to fight for Amy. Go to fightthefines.co.uk to see the text messages from the police and to read the ticket Amy received. And while you're there, please chip in whatever you can, whether it's a tenner or £100. I know Amy is so grateful for the help.
Without Rebel News, I wouldn't be able to afford a top lawyer, no. So that's why I'm really grateful for everybody that's chipped in for Fight the Fines. Thank you.
Amy, I know I speak for everyone when I say you are welcome. It's us who thank you for your courage. Hey, do you know someone else who has received an unreasonable pandemic fine and wants to fight it just like Amy does? Let us know about them. Go to fightthefines.co.uk and fill out the form to tell us your story. We review every case and we'll take those that we can. And while you're at that website, please chip in a few pounds to help Amy. Thanks, my friends. Visit fightthefines.co.uk. We're fighting back for Amy and other Brits who have been wrongfully penalized during the pandemic lockdown. To learn more and to help out, visit fightthefines.co.uk.